You're listening to Speaking Stellar Girl with Teri and Holly, an interview series that inspires women to live their most stellar life. Teri is the co-founder of the Stellar Girl movement, and she is sitting down with women all over the world to hear about the key moments in their lives and how they live boldly, compassionately, and ultimately became a stellar girl.
Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl. I'm your host, Teri Tkachuk, and I'm thrilled today to have Holly Daniel Christensen joining me. Holly is the founder and CEO of Dune Jewelry, and I'm going to mispronounce this word because I haven't seen it yet. It is in experiential. Did I do? Yes, jewelry and gift line. I love that word, so I might as well practice it a little more. It's actually you use sand and earth and elements from thousands of memorable locations around the world. Each design is handcrafted in your studio in Boston. Holly and her team create one-of-a-kind, unique, custom, personalized pieces that you can wear, hold on to special moments and memories for your life in forever. And I love this concept. It's such a stellar entrepreneurial story, and I cannot wait to dive into your journey. So welcome, Holly. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Teri. I'm very excited to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, let's get started because you are a girl with grit, says in your bio. So I'm going to take it for its word. You are a bootstrap kitchen table entrepreneur, built a multi-million-dollar business. You left school, you had common sense, hard work, and tell me how you started Dune Jewelry. I mean, I'm sure you get this question all the time, but we need to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a wild ride to think back, but I left home when I was 15 years old, left school, left home, and I had a lot of different jobs and I did a lot of job jumping. I was young, but the great thing about that is I got to work for so many different leaders, so many different managers. And all along my journey, I took a little piece of this person's personality or this person's belief system or, this person's work ethic. And I kind of used all of that common sense life experience to come up with my own managerial style and leadership style. But that being said, I had settled into a career in real estate in the Boston real estate market.
Challenging.
And I loved it was. I loved it because I worked for a real estate developer. So there was a little bit of a creative part of it, picking out finishes and helping with the interiors and things like that. But really at its core, it was a sales job. And I love people. So it was great. But I always was yearning for a creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I had always been creative, whether I was doodling or painting or creating beaded necklaces, things like that. And my childhood best friend was working on her business where she made these little ornaments out of beach sand from local beaches on Cape Cod where we grew up.
Yes.
And
beautiful. Beautiful out there.
It is beautiful, isn't it? She is a very creative person, but she didn't necessarily love the people side of things. So I would take her ornaments and go to arts and crafts shows and sell them and kind of be the face of her small business. And I would see this reaction that people had when they realized it wasn't just beach sand that was bought off of the like random quarry sand or it was actually a little pinch of sand from their favorite place. And people would always say, oh, you have it from my beach. They take ownership of these places that they've made these memories. And I was like, and I just kind of kept gauging the reaction and the sentimental moment that people would have when they realized they could have it made from sand that they brought back from their honeymoon or from a location. Maybe it was a hiking trail where they had their first kiss and they scooped up some rocks or crushed granite from the Rocky Mountains or pressed flower petals from a trip they took, all these different tangible things that people collect that now they can have in a tangible reminder. So actually, I just fast forwarded. Let me rewind.
That's okay.
Saw the emotional reaction. And then she and I were like, what's the next thing? And she said, let's take jewelry classes. And I'm like, oh, first of all, ornaments are great. Jewelry's cooler, right?
Yeah, heck yeah. I love jewelry.
And so, yeah. So we started taking classes together, and ultimately that's where I just lost myself in the artistic nature of jewelry making, and just the thought of being able to combine these sentimental earth elements with something that someone can wear forever and hold on to was it for me. And I loved it, and I honed my craft for 3 years and launched Dune Jewelry in September 2010.
That is an incredible story. And what because you actually did start making your jewelry at the kitchen table.
Oh yeah. I started in 2007 and just played around, and I would gift the items to friends and family, and I'd bump into them and they'd be wearing it. And then people started saying, oh, I just got back from Iceland and I have a little pinch of black skin. Can you use that?
Yeah.
Or I just got back from Maui and I collected shells. Can we crush them up? Can you use that? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I can use, yes.
Anything. Yeah.
But what people don't know is that it's quite the process. I mean, they're not just sending you sand and I mean, I'm sure there's all kinds of crazy stories of how you receive the sand. That's probably another, I'll save that for my, I'll save that. Next question. But
okay.
there's like a Dune sand bank. So people can say request sand and have it made from your sand bank, but people can also send you sand, but you're not just putting that right into the jewelry. I mean, there's a process. It has to be clean to make sure there's no organic substances inside. I mean, there's a process. So tell me who does that for you and how that works.
Yeah, I mean, now we actually have a sand bank manager. Her name is Mortar.
Shut up.
She is, I swear, and it is wild. She could do a whole podcast on her own. She is so passionate about like receiving the sand in. Seriously, she'll receive the sand. She'll cross-check it with other sands that are already in our sand bank to make sure that geologically it looks similar, right? Because really the authentication process for us is that the customers are sending it in for their own custom piece. So they're not going to send in the wrong sand, right. But over the years, we've learned what the different sands are really comprised of geologically. So she'll kind of cross-check it. It all looks good. She will wash it. She will cook it in little toaster ovens at 350 degrees to make sure there's no organic matter, like you said. And then she'll take it, it'll go to the order, we'll create the pieces. And 9 times out of 10, the customer says, you know what, keep it, put it in the sand bank. I might want to order something later. And then we get to add that to our sand bank. So we have over 5,000 elements now.
That is like amazing. So
yeah.
that
all
is
7 continents too. We even have gravel from Antarctica.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I've seen your jewelry. I cannot wait because I have some to send you soon. So it's from a little special place that I'll tell you about later. But you must be receiving the sand like Tupperware's bottles. Like, so let's go back to that fun question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Has there been like an odd, like, I don't know, you'd send it in like a water bottle or a baggie.
Well, oftentimes, and I love this about the fact that I love men as customers because they get it right away. They're like, oh, that's a great idea. We went on our honeymoon here or there, but also they're so last minute that they're like, oh, that Dune jewelry, here I am on the beach. What do I have? And I mean, we've had pill bottles sent in. We've had old like film canisters, Altoid containers, but the one that takes the cake, and this is so gross.
Oh no!
One man, I remember his name, Frank, took off his sock and filled it up. Filled it with a few pinches of sand, but never took it out of the sock to send it to us. Literally, I can't make this up.
You can't. You can't. You should write us.
And it was from St. Martin was the beach. I remember it was Orient Beach in St. Martin came to me.
Good for him for sending it in to make jewelry for someone special. But was he wearing the sock? Did he have it in his beach bag? Like, are you like, ew, like, what do you?
Yeah, there's no answer. I have no answers to
You're just
why.
like,
how
okay,
the
here we go. Oh, well, men,
yeah.
at least he got it done. So that's good. That's good.
And
That's
he
good.
really bought something beautiful. It was one of our more expensive pieces, and it was gorgeous. So kudos to Frank.
Yeah, go Frank. I won't forget that story. That's for sure. So, okay, let's talk about, like, I know a portion of all your proceeds go to important, like, coastal and global causes. You've donated over, I believe, $150,000 already. So what causes do you donate to, and the proceeds go to them?
Yeah, so we consistently donate to Mission Blue, who that is Sylvia Earle's foundation. Sylvia Earle is incredible. She's my girl crush. I want to say she's in her 80s now, but she's logged over 7,000 hours under the water.
Wow.
She was the star of a documentary called Mission Blue.
Okay.
They call her she's an advocate, obviously, for our oceans, but also for overfishing our oceans, because all those fish and all those animals keep our oceans safe and healthy and keep our earth healthy. So they deemed her the Sturgeon General because she's very instead of the Surgeon General.
Yes.
I don't know. I think
I get it. It's cute.
But it is cute because she's so passionate. Anyway, so Mission Blue is one of our standbys. We donate to them every month. The Association to Preserve Cape Cod, where I grew up. Mm-hmm. The Surfrider Foundation is one of our absolute favorites. We donate to them regularly as well. And then we have multiple causes that we donate to, including Alzheimer's, mental health awareness. This is with one of our collections called Touch the World, but it's Alzheimer's, mental health awareness, Ocean Conservancy, the rainforest, animal welfare. Yeah, there's multiples. Those are because we do split it between 12 different charities. It's not, as substantial as the Ocean Conservancy ones, but yeah, over 150,000.
I love the giving back. That's just so important today, and everything that's going on in the world, and the fact that you're giving a part of your proceeds to such amazing causes. So let's ask, I wanted to, where do you see Dune Jewelry in 5 years? So obviously we're all going to get this word out even better. You ship all over the world globally. I know it's made here, but you can ship anywhere.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And so where do you see Dune in 5 years?
Right now, to get to the nitty gritty of the business, we're 75% wholesale. So we ship 75% of our goods to retail partners all over the world at wholesale prices, right? Okay. And then we're 25% e-commerce on our website, direct to consumer.
Where they send it in.
Yeah, exactly. Or they can still choose, but it's going, we're making it and shipping it directly to you, as opposed to shipping it to Henry's Jewelers, and then you buy it from Henry's Jewelers. Okay. Right. So there's more profit margin with the direct to consumer portion of the business. So I would love to skew the business a little more like 50-50, 50% wholesale, 50% direct to consumer. But also creatively, I really want to create a feel good apparel line that's very, we use the term experiential because with Dune, every piece, hike or a beach day or a honeymoon or any, I would like to create more experiential items like apparel, beach bags, beach towels that are all the same type of quality that Dune is. We have a lifetime warranty on all of our jewelry. Yes. So I want to continue expanding, and
you have candles. You have candles now too.
Those we do.
Scented candles. I'm a candle girl. I'm gonna grab some of those too. But Liz, apart from going in 5 years, let's talk about what happened July 1st, because that was a huge you have your own boutique. You have your own brick and mortar boutique that opened, I believe, July 1st.
Yes.
In Massachusetts.
Yeah, that was wild. So as I had mentioned, my childhood best friend and I started making sand jewelry together. And she ultimately stayed home with her boys, raised them. They just went off to college. So now she is the proprietor of the Dune Boutique on Cape Cod. So it's like, it's all come full
Full
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
Circle of
Yeah.
the circle of
Yeah.
love. So you
Yeah.
had when your grand opening on July 1st. So, how's it going? How's the store going? I believe you had, is it Camille Kostek
Yes.
there? Okay. So,
Yes.
Tell.
Yeah. So
It's exciting. This is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yes.
There was a line around the block, and we had done like a mad race to the finish. I had all of my best team members down there on the Cape. We were up around the clock trying to get the store ready. And because we had Camille Kostek scheduled for July 1st.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Camille? Should I give a little rundown?
Yes, share, because maybe our listeners aren't.
Yeah. So Camille is a Sports Illustrated swimsuit cover model. She is the host of the television show Wipeout, the remake of that. She is Rob Gronkowski's longtime girlfriend. And she is also recently had a starring role in a Hallmark movie, as well as a role in Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. Oh. So she's like just up and coming model superstar.
Yes.
She was our first model that we ever had the budget to hire in 2015.
Okay.
And right. And so she was just getting started, and we finally had the budget to actually use a professional model instead of friends and family, which is funny to think back on. And
back then.
And I was like love at first sight. We met. I really loved her work ethic. I loved her just positive personality. So we started collaborating together on some collections. So we have the Camille collection. Mm-hmm. We also have the Moonstone and Cosmos collection that she designed alongside of us. And I just asked, I said, will you come down and do this grand opening? And she was thrilled to do it. Of course. It was like, the crazy part is we only started promoting her being there maybe like 48 hours ahead of the opening, because we were a little bit scared of how wild it would be. And thank goodness we weren't promoting it for longer than that, because there were people that had traveled, 3 and 4 hours to get down there to meet her.
That is incredible. And it's so amazing when you have these relationships early on in your business and they just continue and grow. And those are your super fans. She's a super fan. She's been with you forever, from the very beginning of Dune to, the grand opening of your first boutique. And that's what we talk about at Stellar Girl, about how we support and champion women. And she did just that for you.
She did. Yeah.
That is
awesome. Was so impressive, especially with all of the projects she has going on. For her to make the time to be down there was so special to us.
I love Stellar Girls like that. Love it. Yeah. So let's talk about your new book that you're writing. And I love the title. Can I share the title?
Yeah.
Okay. Happiness Comes in Waves. Life Lessons from the Ocean. Like, it's like perfect. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's so Holly. It's so Dune. So where are you at with that?
Well, so I have submitted the first manuscript. So I'm waiting for notes back from the editor. There's going to be a lot of them. I'm not a professional author by any means, but I had a lot of fun writing it and, doing more and more research just about Mother Earth and our ocean. It is the lifeblood of our planet. It's what sets us apart from every other planet that we know of. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's really important for people to understand that our ocean has to stay healthy. We can't use it as a dumping ground, because it regulates everything, including our climate, right? So there's a lot of that in there, but there's also really fun. There's really fun kind of self-help, self-care tips about why, even just why baths are so important, and the negative ions that water brings into your system that keeps you feeling good and feeling healthy and feeling positive. And like you said, why we feel so good when we're around water.
Yeah. Around the ocean, around a lake, even if it's fresh water. Which is a little closer to me than the ocean, but I'll take it. It still shimmers and shines. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Books are exciting. I mean, your boutique's amazing. You have such a Stellar Girl spirit. It's just been so much fun. And that's what we talk about here at Stellar Girl, because we forget about the fun. You're very passionate about your work. You're very passionate about, everything you do and how you started and how the company evolved, but you're having fun.
I am. I mean, there are really hard days.
Yes.
Are not
There
fun.
always are.
Yeah. But all in all, I can't imagine. I mean, I chose to do this, right? And I choose to do it every day when I wake up.
Yes.
And so that's it. I mean, this is my choice. Of course, I could give up on the hard days and go do something else, but that's not in the cards for me.
No, but you do it so well, and you have a family. How do you balance that with your two daughters and your family life? How do you balance the work? Because it's something I ask a lot of my female guests who have kids. I do it, and sometimes I'm like, wow, like this is not okay today.
No, it's hard. I think for me, one tip that I could give is I'm married, so I do have a partner that
Yes,
is
me too.
helpful, which is great. And but obviously, in any relationship, each person kind of has their little pain points. So this sounds silly, but one of the things that stressed my husband out more than anything was like having to come home and me being at work until 8 or 9 at night, which does happen sometimes,
Of course.
especially in the beginning. And him having to find something healthy to feed our girls, because they're 7 and 9. And so I've been growing the business as I've been growing
That
children.
family.
And so, as silly as it sounds, I just learned that our life was going to be so much smoother if I took 15 minutes in the morning, threw something in a crock pot, whether it's chicken noodle soup or, some sort of vegetable stew and so that when he got home, he had something, he didn't have to think about feeding them. And it sounds crazy, but that little note to myself, knowing that my day is going to be better and he's going to be in a better mood and my kids are going to have a healthy meal, has made things easier for us at home.
And
everyone has a different pain point, though, right? Whether it's a clean house or dinner on the table or, laundry being done, all of those things.
Yeah, like day-to-day life that we all still deal with while running our businesses and taking care of our families. And it's great to have someone by your side and supportive. And so what can we do to better champion women these days?
Oh, goodness. I think women can still be a little bit catty and not as understanding of other women. And I think that's crap. I think there's success to be had for all of us. I mean, there's a huge world that we live in, and someone else's success does not make us less successful, right? So we have to consistently lift each other up, and make sure we're giving opportunities to the women around us. My business is comprised of 28 women and 2 men. So there's that.
Yes.
It's not that, and I actually work very well with men, but I think it's important for women to consistently have a place at the table. And
100%.
Me personally, I think women could rule the world much.
Heck yeah. Yes, we sure can.
I'm
gonna ask one last question before we sign off, because other than your family and your business, what brings Holly joy?
I'm starting to get into gardening.
Shut up.
No. I
never heard that answer. That's a great, okay. Tell me.
I know. I mean, I could say tequila, but
why not? that brings a lot of us joy too.
Yeah. I love
flowers or vegetables or
vegetables. I love the thought of learning to live off our earth. I think that it's so powerful to be able to be self-sustaining. So I have a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but we've got like tomatoes and zucchini this year.
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's a good start. And basil, I can make sauce.
Yeah.
So I think gardening is really important. I think it's interesting to when you're like, oh, oh, I don't have to go to the grocery store for this or in celery too. My daughter ran out and grabbed celery this morning and I cut it up for her lunch. And that was like, there was something so satisfying about that. So I love that.
That's awesome. That is incredible. Well, you can find Holly and her jewelry line at Dune Jewelry across the board, online, on Instagram, at Facebook. It's all the same name. And we are so thrilled that you were able to join us today on Speaking Stellar Girl and sharing your journey and your story with us. I'm so excited for everything that's coming your way. And thank you so much again.
Thank you so much, Teri.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of new episodes. To learn more about the Stellar Girl movement, please visit us at STELLARGIRL.com.